Hey, what's up out there? It's Dave Duford from Final Expense Agent Mentor, where I help people like you succeed in selling insurance, or at least I try, as the title of today's video is 11 tips to help maximize your success in the insurance career, or in your insurance career. So most likely you're watching this video because you're either brand new to selling insurance, no matter whatever kind of insurance you're selling, and you're kind of looking for some motivation, some tips, some ideas to continue or at least start your successful venture in the insurance career. So the purpose of this video is to try to satisfy that to the best of my abilities. So what I'm going to do is give you a list of 11 tips that I think represent the best practices for a new agent selling insurance to give himself the best odds of success. Now, one thing that nobody can promise in this business is that you will definitely succeed. And it is an honest reality that everybody doesn't make it in this business. But I believe by following some, if not all of these tips, will maximize your potential for success. So let's get started. So the first thing you got to understand, guys, is number one, and I think this is the most important aspect of all, is seeing the people. So when I say seeing the people, simply what I mean is you have to do the appointments, you have to do the presentations, you have to do the sales. I could get Tony Robbins to sell life insurance. As charismatic as he is, if he only does 2 or 3 presentations a week, it's unlikely he'll do as well as a guy selling the same product doing 15 presentations a week who has mediocre sales capability. So a large part of selling insurance is that it is a numbers game. Now, you'll have people who tell you it is not a numbers game, and there is some truth to that. I think it's two sides of the same coin. The biggest, most important side, I believe, is seeing the people. And a good number of people to see per week for a full-time salesperson is 15 presentations. 15, in fact, is the magic number so many sales trainers in the insurance business teach as the number you need to hit. So if there's a starting point and you're wondering where to go to, do whatever it takes to see 15 people a week. That's just 4 presentations face-to-face with your clients a day. It so happens that if you get 15 appointments a week and you see 15 people, you're going to sell somebody out of that bunch, something. Whereas if you get 10 or 5, it's just going to depend. The numbers may be in your favor, they may not be, but when you do 15 a week, you're maximizing the law of averages towards your favor. Number 2 is focused effort. This kind of goes in hand in foot or hand in glove with one of my further points, but you've got to focus on a particular market, or you have to focus on a particular product. It's really important to figure out what it is you want to sell. You don't want to be everything to everybody, because then you'll be nothing to nobody. Pick something you enjoy. I had a conversation with somebody on one of my YouTube videos, and he asked, I don't know if I want to sell Final Expense or Medicare. And I said, gut check here, man. What do you think you like better? And he simply said, well, Medicare seems too complicated. So I said, just do Final Expense. The thing is, as you get better, then maybe you could do others as well. But the important thing is to pick something you enjoy, pick something that you think fits your personality type, and then just go all in. Number 3 is the importance of humility. So I think this is really, really important, especially for people who are what I would deem to be the types that are paralyzed by analysis, that think too much, that try to process everything and then immediately think of some different or better way. It's not that I don't think there's better ways to do traditional pathways to selling. But there's a reason when you're hired or recruited into an insurance agency, they make you do a specific set of steps in order to sell an insurance product. It's because it's been proven to work in different markets, and those people who recruit you, the only way they make their bonuses or they make their overrides or they make any commission whatsoever is if you actually go out there and follow the system they give you. So be humble. Just do what you're told. Give yourself some time to actually gain firsthand real-world experience before you try to bumble around and try to improve on processes that, quite frankly, probably worked pretty well before you showed up. Point number 4 is specialization, not generalization. So I'm a big believer that beginning agents new to selling insurance need to pick one product and one product only. Why? Because they need to become masters. I hearken this to the age-old comparison of what income does a general physician make compared to a cardiac or brain surgeon. Well, the surgeon's going to make a lot more income because he has specialized knowledge in one particular field, and there's not a lot of people who do it. Therefore, his income is going to be a huge multiple of the general physician who knows a lot about everything but cannot actually solve a problem so specific as, let's say, brain damage. So you got to pick something that you like, and you got to be really good at problem solving. And what you'll find out, especially if you're new and you're getting into insurance or thinking about it, there is so much information to know. It takes a long time to really get good at something even as simple as final expense. But then you start looking at other things, say annuity sales or Medicare, or more complicated life insurance sales to business owners, or disability insurance. It's a lot of technical information to absorb, in addition to the prospecting, the fear of overcoming rejection, also dealing with the sales process. It's better just to pick one, and because that one product usually will align with one particular marketplace, it just makes the process that much easier. Now, I do think that if you've proven that you're successful and you gain a level of success, that branching out with multiple products is fine. I've always just been a little bit leery of it when starting with, because I know the nature of people that try to do too much at once usually don't do anything at all of effect or of notice. Okay, point number 5 is to develop relationships and clientele. A book I'd highly recommend for you guys that are just getting into this business is Anything by John Savage. You can find his stuff on Amazon. You can do a book search on eBay, or I think there's something called abooks.com that gets old books. John Savage is deceased, but he was a guru of his times in the insurance business, and like a real one, not some charlatan. He knew what he was talking about, and he was very passionate about the importance of insurance agents and financial professionals building relationships and clientele. Why is that the case? Well, the main reason is that we go out there and we help people, and we want to see that their lives are bettered through the product that we're selling them. And one other beautiful thing about the insurance business, as soon as you get in and you sell one product and you start getting really good at this, then you can begin to sell more insurance. You can sell other products. You can build deep and wide into your account and really develop a great relationship. And then what's great about that, as their needs change, as they pick up more products or desire to pick up more products, their trust in you builds, and then they'll begin to refer you out to other people just by natural design. So build relationships, develop clientele. Don't just treat this business as a transactional business only. It is something that some people do and can get success, but real great success, just like really in any business, it kind of goes with that old fortune with the follow-up type of approach. If you just go back to your clients, help them again and again and again, you'll make more sales. It'll be an easier sell, and it's really a lot more fun dealing with people that already know, like, and trust you. Point number 6 is stay in touch. Again, following my last point, the fortune and the follow-up. Now, this is not an excuse to not try to close on the first call. A lot of people think, oh, this is a 2-step or 3-step business. Then I'll just not ask for the sale, or I'll weaken my capabilities to sell today. Well, that's not the case with a lot of the insurance products that are out there. We have to capture people as we see them and show them how our product can benefit them. And if it matches their desires and their budgets and what they want to accomplish, we have the moral obligation, I believe, to sell them something today, to get them approved, or at least the application process started today, and not to extend this decision out over weeks and months, because many times nothing happens. But that's not always the case. For example, if you sell Medicare, one thing that's really good to do is to keep track of the people you talk to, what companies they have. And while they may not be interested in doing something today, you better believe that probably will change when they get their rate increases at the beginning of the year. Or something along that line. Or maybe their husband retires and needs a Medicare plan at that point. So there's really good success in the follow-up process, and staying in touch, making sure you know that you're there to help them, and then following up when you say you're going to do. You'll find that there's a lot of business to be had in that, because most people just don't. They never follow up with anybody ever, and that business goes to the person who fortune favors the bold, as it says. All right, point number 7, production first, recruiting second. I'm a big believer that if you want to get in the insurance business, certainly an appeal to it is the development of an agency. It's the development of a semi-passive income. To make an income off of the production of others is a great reason to be in the insurance business, but only after you've proven that you've got some capability of being successful, selling other people, selling insurance products, having some measure of success. The reason for that is the biggest problem in the insurance business is there's too many people recruiting agents that don't know a thing about actually selling the products they're recruiting agents to sell. It's crazy. I've heard numbers of people working for these multi-level marketing type setups where the guy's super excited about getting you on board. He can't wait to tell you about the products and tell you about this great business that doesn't need any money to get started, and the insurance business is great. Well, this guy's gone in 3 months. Or if the new agent needs help and they call the guy, there's nothing there in the guy's mind and through experience to actually put into use to help him out. So do yourself a favor, and then do yourself a favor when you recruit people. Give yourself the time to be successful. Write on your own pen for a while. You don't have to be the top agent. I'm not the best agent. There's a lot of guys that are better than me. But I've been sustainably successful in this business since 2011. I've been through the ups and downs. I can share a story in camaraderie with people getting started because I vividly remember the process of doing it and know what steps I need to take for a new agent to put them in the process of success, and as well as what to avoid too. And that's valuable insight and wisdom that a new agent who starts recruiting right away cannot replicate. So I think it's a dangerous proposition for all parties involved, including the recruiting agent. Look, the insurance business is not going anywhere. Give yourself the appropriate amount of time to be successful, to actually give value to people who come into this business that you want to help out, and show them the business process that you've been successful with. Point number 8 is the importance of masterminding. Now, so this is an interesting concept. Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich. And the concept is very simple. Surround yourself with other people in the same industry or even different industries and meet together to collaborate on ways to improve processes. The thing with selling insurance, it's typically a lonely profession, especially if you're independent. You don't have a home office or a branch office to go to on a regular basis. I think there's some advantage to that. There's less time to potentially screw around and drink, by the water cooler and have fun as opposed to seeing prospects. But the problem is you don't really have this built-in network of support that you could have with a functional, focused branch division. And so it's very important that you reach out to other agents in your organization where you work. Keep tabs with them, see how they're doing. Get on a group chat. Get on a weekly call or a bi-weekly call. Make sure you're cognizant and connected with somebody in this business, because it is super lonely. Even though you're going out there and talking to people all day, having that type of employee-to-employee mindset or that producer-to-producer mindset, I should say, is just lacking if you work independently, far and away from your organization's headquarters. So figure out a way to do it. Join some Facebook groups that are associated with insurance sales, or whatever your group is. Get with your organization to get on calls on a weekly basis. Develop some professional relations, and it will make, and what you'll find is a lot of people share the same opinions, experiences, and it's good to hear others go through the same kind of struggles, and as well as share yours so everybody can mutually benefit. Point number 9, a commitment to excellence. As Donald Trump says, if you're going to think, you might as well think big. It's truly the case for this profession as well. If you're going to come into insurance, I thoroughly believe the only reason to sell insurance is to kill it, is to go out there and make a name for yourself, is to be successful, because people, depend on you to show up and help them with a subject matter that they're totally and thoroughly confused about. And the only way they can do it is if with somebody who has the aspiration to work hard and hit his goals on a weekly basis. So you might as well get into this and be committed to being the best at what you do. Because 80% of the money that's made in this business is made by the top 20%. I was reading a book this week. It's over there on my piano. I was going to show it to you. It's called No Excuses by Brian Tracy, a self-discipline guide. A very good book, excellent book. And he talks about the Pareto principle, how it is a law, essentially, that top producers, 20% of them pull in 80% of the revenue, 80% of the commissions. And so you have to model yourself on those points of excellence. And you might as well get there, because the bottom 80 is no good to be in. And with a job like this, if you're selling insurance, man, it's tough. You're going to go out there, people are going to throw you out, they're going to curse at you. I was just reading about somebody had a gun pulled on him. I mean, this stuff it happens. It's not something that's unavoidable. No, I've never had a gun pulled on me. I had dogs bite me. I've had people threaten to kill me. I still close them, though. But that's besides the point. The point is that you're going to be in a rough profession. And this kind of goes to the next point here. So you might as well make the most of it, do your best that you can be, and really enjoy the fruits of a sound commitment to this business. Okay, so point 10 really ties into this last point, is you got to mind your health. Now, this is something that I am personally, I'm not preaching here because I was in this position too. Hey, Michael, how you doing? I gained about 50 pounds, 60 pounds when the first 4 years of this business, totally stressed out. I had been at one point in size 32s. I got up to size 42s, really out of shape. I started getting acid reflux. I drank more often. I never was a heavy drinker, but I was drinking multiple times a week. And I noticed my legs were starting to get purple. And it's because what we do as insurance salespeople, we sit down in a chair, and it's either in our car, or it's in our truck, or it's at the office, or at the client's home. We sit all day long and do enough research, just initial cursory research in this business. Sitting will kill you. And there's just no way around it to get around that, right? In the insurance business, we're sitting. We're eating with our clients. We're eating when we're between appointments. We're stopping at the drive-thru. We're doing a pattern of really unhealthy activity because it's the path of least resistance. And I've been on convention where, I hate to say it like this, but there's people that they may be successful, but they give up on their health. And being a personal trainer, this is a lot of this preachy behavior comes from. I see what happens to people who don't take care of themselves in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Their body wears down, their joints wear down, their blood pressure goes up, diabetes sets in, then they get a heart attack, or they get a stroke, or they start taking insulin. And that leads to all sorts of other health problems. And if you sell final expense, you know exactly what I'm seeing. You're seeing the worst of the worst in many circumstances. So you have to be successful, not just in your career, but also in your personal health. Because hell, if you're going to go out there and work like a dog for years and years and years, be healthy enough to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Be healthy enough so you can be around for your kids. Be healthy enough that you can spend time in a good, long, healthy life with your spouse. And if you don't have the time, you're just not making it. It's just like everything else. I know most of you, me included, waste too much time on Facebook and email and don't set time aside for the most rigorous and most important things that we can do. And health is the number one thing. I say this a lot. Warren Buffett, as rich as he is, and all the money he has, cannot turn back the time on the clock a day to give himself an extra day in his life. There's nothing that's stopping the inevitable. And if we're going to live, we might as well live well, just as if we're going to sell and be successful in insurance, might as well succeed. So best ways to do that, guys, commit to 3 to 5 days of exercise, 30 minutes first thing in the morning. Just get it over with first thing. Don't let the day continue to the point where you don't have the time to invest in it. And I promise I'm not being preachy here. This is coming from somebody who's gone up and down in his weight. And I say this because it helps reinforce the same values in me as well. So last point here, tip number 11, endure, survive, and then thrive. I don't remember who said it. It may have been Al Granum or Norm Levine. These are insurance greats from yesteryear. If you just survive this business, you're going to succeed. And trust me, most people go through ups and downs, failure points, including myself, within the first couple of years. And a lot of people get washed out. And there's so many stories of my books over here from guys that have made it in this business and have been wildly successful that originally quit, that originally wanted to quit or just had every reason to quit, but for whatever reason, they just didn't listen to themselves. And thankfully, they're very thankful they didn't. So how do you survive and endure? You've got to learn how to manage this up here. I just started another book. I think it's called The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. And I just started the introduction, and the concept behind the book is that the most important factor in sales success is not the toolkit, you know, what products you have. It's nothing. It's the most important point is not even the skill set with what you have as far as your sales abilities. That matters. But the most important point is your mindset. Is you've got to have a positive can-do mindset, and you have to have the ability to have very short-term amnesia, meaning when you have a bad day or bad week or bad month, you cannot let it accumulate to the point of changing your goals, changing your plan, and changing what matters to you. These are the things that take people out more than a lack of sales skills. I thoroughly believe with the right marketing setup, with the right training and coaching, even if you're just a mediocre performer, even if you're just a mediocre producer, as far as your sales skills goes, even if you just sell one company and you're captive, if you've got a mindset of a warrior and you go out there and you fight to see these people and nothing gets in your way to stop you, you are a person to be feared in the sense of the people you're competing against as far as who's going to be the top producer. The mindset makes up for every lack of skill set and tool that you have. And so you got to be able to have and master that first. A lot of sales is really just mastering your mentality and focusing on developing what goes on between the space between your ears first. And then many of the stuff just naturally falls into place after you do that. And it is a process that never ends. You're always reading, you're always learning, you're always absorbing new information. You're always learning how to better your skill set mentally on how to achieve, how to succeed, and how to continually do that. And you've got to always invest yourself in some sort of routine to foster that type of mentality, because for many of us, me included, I'm a little bit of a cynic, and that will start to pull you back into that direction of cynicism, of doubt, of a lack of faith. And so we have to prop ourselves up with things that will help us elevate ourselves above those negative emotions. So it's a constant daily battle that we have to take seriously. We can't do casually. So what can you do to master your mentality so you do survive and thrive? Read a book a week. Read a book a month even. I'm telling you, magic happens when you read on a weekly basis, but even if you get one in a month, you're doing better than 95% of the population, and you will learn things, you will absorb things. Read Napoleon Hill, read W. Clement Stone, Brian Tracy, any of the insurance greats. If you ever needed a recommendation to start, I can give you some. But those are some pretty good books to read. And what you find through the reading process, especially in the development of your mentality, is you realize all these guys, all these top producers, they're not like naturally savants. They don't all just wake up and then make $500,000 a year just like clockwork. In fact, they're like an overnight success that took 20 years or 15 years. They didn't just happen. But you read their books and their biographies and what they left behind, what you realize is there was a process, a struggle. There was doubt. And it's really funny. It's actually quite normal to go through all this stuff. And the ones who just stick with it are the ones writing the books, are the ones that are achieving success, massive success, and have had really great careers and made a great impact on the lives of millions. So I do hope you enjoyed this video today on the 11 tips to maximize your success in the insurance career. My name is David Duford at Final Expense Agent Mentor. I help agents succeed in the insurance business. I do videos like this every day of the week. Usually I just turn on the live stream and yak away. It's just like I did today. I also recruit agents as well. We do final expense primarily. If you're interested in selling final expense, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Also leave a comment and a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you'd like to learn more about working with me, go to my website. It's feagentmentor.com. Click the contact button and I'll give you some material to review so you can decide if final expense is something through my organization that would be a good fit for you. And until then, guys, it's Monday morning at 10:15. I do hope you go out there and help the people see the people. After all, that was the #1 tip to success, and it really does work a lot. Dave Duford here again, logging off. We'll see you next time. Peace.